Hi again guys, and welcome to another speed build for Forza Horizon 3, and this particular build is a slightly slower one than what we'd usually do. We tend to do around 250 to 270 mile per hour, or even higher. This one is around 215, so it's a much more modest top speed build compared to what we'd usually do. Now the car really puts that speed into perspective though, because for this classic Mini, that is monstrously quick. Now, this particular tune is for people who perhaps want to see how the tuning is done, rather than just downloading it from the storefront, or maybe you want to change things. Maybe you don't want the cattle bars on the front, maybe you don't want the spare tyre, etc. Or maybe you just want different visuals overall. Now, if you do like the way this car looks, and you just want to get the tune on there, you can, as always, find it on my storefront, so just check out the keywords in the description below to find it. But, as I said, this tune is for people who want to follow it step by step for themselves. Now, as far as the build, I would recommend, of course, an engine conversion, and the particular engine conversion that I would recommend is actually the 2-litre straight 4 conversion, because although the rally engine is tempting, it's not as powerful. Now, as far as the drivetrain, I would, as always, recommend all-wheel drive, though some people may not want to. You've got the option of the 3. You've got front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, or all-wheel drive, so it's down to you. All-wheel drive, of course, gives you the biggest advantage off-road in particular. I would recommend the single-turbo conversion, and then for the visuals, obviously go for whatever you want. The visuals don't necessarily help the speed, I just wanted to make it look like a cool little off-roader. Now, as far as the tune, which is of course the way to unlock the potential of those upgrades, as you can see, you've got some pretty serious numbers. 3.1 to 60, just under 5.6 to 100, and 215 miles per hour flat out, as I said. Now for the gearbox, I've actually left this a little bit more stock than we usually would. I've changed the final drive in particular to 2.8, but for the rest, you could play around if you want to, and you can with all of these tunes. You could certainly make them even quicker than I have, but for this one I've left the gears all standard, because it's already so quick. For the rest, I've left everything basically default. Neutral camber, neutral toe, a caster of 5 degrees. The reason why I opted for that with this car is because being small, you want the car's steering to be, in particular off-road, more nimble. You don't want it to be stiff. That depends on personal preference though. Take it even lower, and it will become more nimble, but it will kind of become twitchy. If you take it higher, of course it will stiffen it up more. Now as far as anti-roll, we've got those on 25 and 30, springs on 110 and 90 with the lowest ride height. You could of course go for the highest if you're opting for a complete rally build, but I've opted not to. We've got the dampers on 15 and 12, 7 and 5, aero doesn't apply on this model. Then for the diff, slightly different to what we'd usually do. 0% on acceleration and deceleration. That gives you the best all-round acceleration and top-end performance, and I would recommend a center split of 78%. So that's it overall for the tune and the build. So if you either opt to use this tune or get the tune from my storefront, which is of course appreciated as always, then I hope you find it fun. It is extremely quick for a car which people, especially online, won't expect to be as quick as it is. That it's kind of a great little sleeper car, and it's also a great car for exploring the map because you've got every advantage. It's monstrously quick, it's small, it's light, you can get into tight spaces for getting discount boards, etc. It's a great little car for cruising and exploring. So, if you'd like to keep up with other setups and builds like this on the channel, you can of course subscribe or check out the playlist at the end of this video. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.